Hey, welcome back, guys. All right, Capricorns, let's take a quick peek. Let's see what we got in the realm of love. We have got a King of Pentacles. Very nice. This is somebody, though, who's holding all of his bags of amethyst gems, but then he's picking up one little one and being like, hey, I could give this to you. And I'm kind of thinking, don't tease. Give it all to Capricorn. We've got the Temperance and we've got the Fool. Okay. Somebody's got their spiritual abs on display right here. This actually could be Capricorn. This might be Capricorn saying, I have a lot to offer. Now, let me, when I meet somebody that is in my life and they want what I've got, I can show them how I treat people. I treat people really well with a lot of respect. But if they're my partner, oh man, then the floodgates open up. Then, it's like I will be the greatest partner they ever had. But they got to first show me that they're, on the same page as me and that they want the same things as me. This is starting to look more like this could be Capricorn. It's either somebody who's a great match for Capricorn, who's in that mindset, or it is Capricorn in that mindset, but they feel really peaceful about this. Tell me who the energy here of the Fool is. This leap of faith forward. Tell me who that is. Could be an Aries with their spiritual abs. 7 of Wands. They've clearly been looking for something but feeling blocked at every turn. 9 of Pentacles. Okay, so this is somebody who's had a hard time finding somebody that's single. Somebody who's single, self-possessed, has, personal empowerment. Wow, 5 of Swords. In fact, I'm going to say that they have had an abysmal time. They perhaps have gone through relationships where maybe they ended up in relationships where they chose people who weren't really happy in themselves, and that created more drama. Let me just see. Let's get another card. I'm not sure how I feel about this. 8 of Wands. So they definitely have been like on the move. They've definitely wanted to go change their life. Feels like they left a relationship with somebody who it was not going well with. We have Mastery of Swords. We have the Hierophant in the reverse. They may have actually divorced. And they may judge themselves a bit for this. Feel like, I lost in love. I suck at marriage. Or there is this element where even though they know that they need to move on, and they need to move on from this thought process too, I almost think that they have been really unfortunate in whatever partner they chose in the past. They maybe thought the person that they chose was somebody who was, very self-fulfilled, and maybe it turns out that they weren't. Turned into a lot of arguing, a lot of fighting, and eventually it actually ended the connection. And as they've moved on from that, they don't feel blameless in it, which is good, but they are hoping to change their love story. I feel like this is somebody who's pretty clear that there were things that they could have done better in the relationship that they were in also, but they weren't maybe mature enough, or maybe it was just, sometimes we are not our best self when we're with the wrong person. They bring out the worst in us, we bring out the worst in them, and it's just, it's a cluster. And I'm thinking that that's how they look at this. That's why they're not going back. They're not pining for exes. They actually feel like they kind of failed in marriage, though. So let me ask this. So they could be a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. So you're actively seeking a new relationship. You're seeking a new chapter of your life. Possibly not. They're possibly seeking some more healing when they come across Capricorn. What does that mean? What are you going to do when it comes to Capricorn? 7 of Pentacles. They may take a long time to actually move toward Capricorn. In fact, this could be a little bit confusing or even frustrating for Capricorn. This could turn into one of those things where it's like, I do not know what they're doing. They watch me from afar. They don't really move towards me. Six of Swords. In fact, they may turn around and walk away from Capricorn. But now it looks to me like actually they're running away in their little Volkswagen bus or bug. This is almost, I'm laughing only because it looks like we go from, I want something different. I've been working on healing. And now, oh, wow, I see this Capricorn. They're really wonderful. Run away, run away. I need to still heal the last little bit of things that I need to heal because I don't want to be a failure in another, relationship. This definitely feels like somebody is afraid of failing in another long-term commitment. Hanged Man. They run away and they got to go regroup. This person retreats from Capricorn. So I'm thinking, we just got some of their backstory, but what we see here is that now we can see what's really going on, right? For Capricorn, thank goodness Capricorn was like, I have a lot to give, but I don't know where they're at. Are they going to come toward me? Capricorn offered them some kind of little I'm interested in you. I'll show you that I'm attracted to you. But then instead of this person moving further toward Capricorn, I feel like they withdrew. And that could be very confusing for Capricorn if they don't know what this person's backstory was. And I feel like Capricorn does not know what their backstory was. I think Capricorn's like scratching their head going, I don't know why this person came toward me and then spied on me and made like they were interested in me and then ran away. How am I so scary? Well, it's not got anything to do with Capricorn. It's all got to do with them. They need to pull back their energy. Five of Pentacles. And they got to look at things from a different lens. And with that Five of Pentacles, they got to do a little assessment. What part of me is going to come up short if I were to approach this amazing Capricorn? Because them sitting around saying, you know what, I ruined a relationship, or I feel like I suck at marriage, or I feel like I ran away from a marriage that was failing. If they're still sitting around judging themselves or saying this negative internal dialogue, and then they want to meet somebody better, they're going to sabotage it. And here they did. They met Capricorn. They met somebody that they think is wonderfully balanced, and they obviously share an interest, right? They're staring, probably drooling over Capricorn, but then they hopped in their little bug and drove away. It's because they need to go think about what parts of me are not up to snuff yet, because I don't want to come into a Capricorn and botch it. We could say, well, maybe spying on them or staring at them, acting like you want to move toward them, and then instead retreating, that could have already botched it. But we don't know that. We're not really sure how much they moved toward Capricorn in this story and then ran away. But we have the Moon. We definitely can say this person ran away. They are still very much trying to figure out, can they handle the idea of even risking having another relationship that fails? Boy, every fiber of them wants to rush toward Capricorn. Like they want to call Capricorn like late at night. They almost do, or maybe they will. They'll randomly call like way late at night. They could work the night shift or something. They could be, an EMT or a firefighter or something. But we've got this Page of Pentacles and this Two of Wands. Even if they call, it's almost like they don't know what to say. Maybe they're afraid to admit, listen, I had a relationship that I thought it started out good and then it all went to hell in a handbasket. And, I'm so scared that part of the reason it went to hell in a handbasket was me. And I don't want to mess up another relationship, so I'm like trying to figure out where did I go wrong so that I don't risk bringing something to the table again that wrecks things. It almost feels like this is what they need to say in that phone call. I just don't know if this is what they will say. With that Page of Pentacles, it almost feels like it's going to be hard to, I even think Capricorn could be a little bit weirded out. Like this is a late night phone call. And it could be like, okay, so you're calling me for a reason. Do you want to tell me what you're calling for? And it's like they're debating, do I say this? Do I not? Is this too much to dump on Capricorn? Or do I tell them like basically tell them why you ran away. I would say yes. Tell Capricorn why you're running away from them. 3 of Wands. This conversation, I don't really know that a whole lot gets explained in this late night phone call that it seems like they're going to be making. I almost think instead these two are going to talk about other things. They're going to set up another time in the upcoming future to see each other or to talk again. That could be great. That could be nice. But will they hold that date, that appointment? It's all I can say is it seems like it's going to make Capricorn feel really good that this person is, that they called. And even if they didn't say the things that they needed to, and Capricorn is still kind of confused about, like, I feel like they held back on some comment or something that they needed to tell me about. But, you know, we made plans to see each other again, or we, you know, there's something that we're planning on. So I guess, you know, this feels nice. This feels good that they want to make plans. But let me go back over to them for just a second. If you're going to be, it kind of feels like you're messing around a little bit with Capricorn. They're like, no, I really want this Capricorn, at least to be lovers with me. Okay, but they better want more than that. Come on now. If you're worried about messing something up and you still haven't explained, you know, like what your fears are, you can't say, well, I just want to be a lover, and then if I have to run away again, I can. I would not worry about this as a runaway card, except that's literally, we have this buzzard, this bird flying away. But normally the 7 of Pentacles is like, it's a long-term commitment. I honestly think that this person still has a lot of fear that they might mess something up. And so they're a little bit dodgy. They're a little bit like, really want this, but God, what if I wreck it? You know, and then they pull back. But ultimately, I think that their passion, their desire for Capricorn is going to be what drives them forward. The desire to have Capricorn in their life as a lover. By the way, they could be a Gemini now as well. Strongest energy on Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, them as an air sign as a whole. 7 of Wands. When there are problems, this person does tend to go into lone wolf mode. That's not great. They may, and maybe with these little sooty angel wings, maybe they think that they sabotage stuff because maybe they think that they have some, you know, we all have our idiosyncrasies or our own, you know, problems, or, you know, whatever it is that we do that's a little off, right? And they're here saying, if some of my behaviors or my problems get in the way again, I don't want to show that to Capricorn. They may have a little secret plan that they're going to pursue things with Capricorn, but if they're, you know, dealing with some personal drama or whatever it is that they feel is their shame to bear, their, you know, maybe they think that, oh, I'm, you know, I have anxiety sometimes, or, you know, I'm just throwing out an example. And they're like, when I get like that, though, I'm just going to, you know, stay away from Capricorn and just deal with it myself so that I don't put that into the relationship, so then I don't risk messing this up. That is probably going to be a whole nother chapter of things where Capricorn's probably going to have to, like, explain to them or be patient with them. Say, remember, if we're in a partnership, then you got to give me your problems just like I'm going to give you mine, and we got to work on them together. It just feels like they are already pre-thinking how they could have success, which will always be to sometimes run away and deal with stuff and then come back again. But it's not, in this storyline, it's not somebody who's trying to run away because they're like, oh, I don't want to be with Capricorn. It's that they're afraid that the problems that they have could make Capricorn not want them, or that they would, you know, sabotage this connection. When I think the reverse is probably closer to the truth, which is, if you avoid opening up to the person that you want to be with, that could sabotage it more so than anything. But there's going to be some learning curves in this relationship. I mean, already it looks like they've been a bit confusing. So I would just say that in this storyline, we have a lot of good communication that needs to still occur for these two to really get to know each other well. But they seem to be unable to stay away from Capricorn. All right, I'm going to leave this here. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing.